motion passes. We will adjourn and reconvene at 12:30. Now that this is here with the restaurant. I'm going to call the special call meeting to order. It's 12:38. 1.01, resolution to approve releasing parcel of property at Maria High School from Best encumbrances. Dr. Worcester.
Thank you, Mrs. Wells. I'll ask Mr. Webb, as each of these come up, to speak in order to them, to simply provide you a brief summary of the action that we're asking you to take in regards to these cell tower leases, and then he certainly will be available to answer any question you might have, or Ms. Stack or myself. Mr. Webb?
Thank you, Dr. Royster. The first two items, and I'll speak to both of them, just because they're very similar in nature. Both of these properties, Berea High School and Southside High School, are part of the BEST program. And as such, as we've done with other properties, most recently with Blythe Elementary School, when the board released a tiny parcel of property that was not needed for school operations to put on the market for a possible selling of that piece of property. In order to lease these little tiny pieces of property, both at these two locations, technically those parcels need to be released from any BEST encumbrances. So the BEST board met this summer, approved the release of those properties, but that approval is contingent on the Board of Trustees for the school district also releasing it from BEST encumbrances. So like I said, this has been done in the past when there's a piece of property that's not needed for school operations, and we can either lease or sell. In this context, obviously, we would be leasing it to Milestone Communications. Be happy to answer any questions you have.
Any questions?
So I just have a chicken or the egg question. So the BEST board votes first to release property, and then because they approved it, it comes to us for final approval? Is that
Yes, sir.
That's the order that happens?
Right.
So if the BEST board had not voted to release this, it would not have come before.
Correct.
We can't release something that.
Yes,
Okay.
you have the ultimate approval, but it's a two-step process.
Okay, thanks.
Madam Chairman,
Yes, sir, Mr. Meek.
just want to point out that this board approves the BEST board, members of the BEST board.
That's correct.
Okay.
Any other
Not
questions?
in their best interest not to.
Any other questions?
Madam Chairman, I make a motion to approve the resolution authorizing execution of an amendment to the base lease agreement and the school facilities purchase and occupancy agreement between the school district of Greenville County and BEST, releasing the .061 acres of property at Berea High School.
Thank you. Is
Second.
there a second with Mr. Sailors? Any questions? All those in favor, please address by raising your right hand. All opposed, your left. All right, the motion passes to approve the resolution authorizing the execution of the amendment to the base lease agreement and the school facilities purchase and occupancy agreement between the school district of Greenville County and BEST, releasing the .61 acres of property at Berea High School. Thank you.
Madam Chairman,
Yes, sir. I said .61.
I did notice
I'm sorry?
it should be .061.
Oh,
That's correct. .061. Even smaller than
oh, I'm sorry, .061. Correction. So it passed as stated by Mr. Meek earlier. All right, .02, and Mr. Webb just went over that, so I will need a maker of the motion for 1.02 to approve the resolution authorizing the execution of an amendment to the base lease agreement and the school facilities purchase and occupancy agreement between the school district of Greenville County and BEST, releasing the .063 acres of property at Southside High School. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, and Ms.
Doug, is this this lease agreement, is that part of the cell tower stuff? Or are they gonna be paying us for this lease? Is it gonna be part of? Okay,
Yes. So-
you know
so-
what I'm trying to say.
So this item is the precursor to the lease agreement, which is later on the agenda. So in order for us to get to consideration of that lease agreement, this first has to be approved to release a property from Best. But yes, to answer your question, I'll be happy to go into greater detail in a few minutes with regard to that agenda item. There is a financial structure payment to the school district with regard to that lease at Southside.
Any other questions? So there has been a motion and a second. All in favor, please address by raising your right hand. All opposed? The motion passes to approve the resolution authorizing the execution of an amendment to the base lease agreement and the school facilities purchase and occupancy agreement between the school district of Greenville County and Best, releasing the .063 to Southside High School. And it passed. At this time, point 1.03.
Madam Chairman,
Yes, sir.
make a motion to approve the First Amendment of the Master Agreement between the School District of Greenville County and Milestone Development Incorporated.
Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, any discussion? Any discussion?
Just what practically does this do, Mr. Webb?
Yes, sir. Two things. The original agreement that was entered into between the school district and Milestone had the site fee to the district, which is $25,000, being paid when construction actually started on the cell phone tower. And this changes it to at the time that this lease agreement is signed. So we should, as a district, receive that money earlier, sooner than when the construction actually occurs. Secondly, as far as any sort of assignment of this agreement to another company from Milestone, not that we expect that or envision that, but there's a requirement there that they would have to have a market valuation over $100 million. Kind of protect the school district, substantial size of that entity to take that over.
How many million?
100 million.
That's a lot of money.
Yes. Any other questions?
So we're in a lot.
Yes, sir. Mr. Shamley?
Oh, sure. The second part about assignments. Yes. So in order, the original agreement had several items with regard to assignment. One talks about the ability for Milestone to assign the agreement on all the responsibilities under the agreement to another entity. And this agreement changes it from a valuation of $100 million from accounting principles like a balance sheet to market value. Yeah, market valuation.
Any other questions? Hearing none, all those in favor, please address by raising your right hand. All opposed? The motion carries to approve the First Amendment to the Master's Agreement between the School District of Greenville County and Milestone Development Incorporated. Recommended motion, point 104, recommended motion from the administration to approve the memorandum of lease agreement and the real property deed lease agreement for Berea High School. A maker of the motion, Ms. Bush.
Approve the memorandum of lease agreement and the real property deed lease agreement for Berea High School.
Second.
Okay, any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, please address by raising your right hand. All opposed? The motion carries to approve the memorandum of lease agreement and the real property deed lease agreement for Berea High School. Thank you. Point 01, excuse me, I'm sorry, 1.05, recommended motion from the administration to approve the memorandum of lease agreement and the real property deed lease agreement for Southside High School.
Madam Chair,
Yes, ma'am.
make a recommended motion to approve the memorandum of lease agreement and the real property deed lease agreement for Southside High School.
A second?
Second.
Second, Mr. Meek. Any discussion? All in favor, please address by raising your right hand. All opposed. The motion passes to approve the memorandum of lease agreement and the real property deed lease agreement for Southside High School.
Madam Chairman,
Yes, sir.
make a motion we adjourn.
Yes, sir. We will make a
comment before
motion
you-
to adjourn.
If I might offer one comment. before
Yes,
you adjourn, would
but,
that be all right?
but before we adjourn,
If you look through, this is a huge amount of material, but we also put a revised financial sheet in there. Simply want to draw your attention to the intent of the administration. We provided you the information earlier about the amount that would go to that school. It's the intent of the administration to take the remaining amount that accrues to the district, place it in a fund, and allow schools other than the school site where the tower will be located to apply to that fund to fund either extracurricular or curricular activities at their school, one-time funded. That makes sense.
Who's going to approve that?
Be approved by the administration.
Who in the administration?
Be the superintendent and/or designee, likely the senior leadership team.
Thank you.
Similar in process to, we have a match fund in facilities that schools can apply to, but in this case, not requiring a match and not limiting it to items that would only be appropriate for capital expenditure.
any other questions? Yes, sir.
For the amount reserved to the district, only those schools other than that school may apply for it. In other words, that school can't get 100% of it. Yes, sir. They get their designated portion as specified in the chart.
Ms. Goodwin Carlisle?
What is the amount that's reserved for the district?
55,000 and 75,000 to the school.
Okay.
Now, that's per carrier, so that could repeat itself. That also includes the initial 25,000, which is a one-time 25,000.
And that goes directly to the school.
Right.
Can you refresh my memory on how many can be located on the cell tower? Is it like 6 to 8 carriers?
And
or?
Mr. Fork is here again from
You want to
Milestone.
speak to that?
And, yeah, you could answer that question.
Yeah, at this point, right now, we have 4 carriers that we can market to, Verizon, AT&T, Sprint, and T-Mobile. So those are the 4 companies that we have the capacity for. But over time, there have been 6 carriers and sometimes 3, so it's variable. But our goal is we designed the pole so we have room for 5.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Yes, Ms. Wells?
What fund does this lease, this revenue go into?
We'd establish a fund for the purpose of dispersing the revenue from that lease. The revenue going to the school will be placed in their student activity fund.
Okay, so when it comes in, it'll get dispersed to local school fund and then to another special
Then we'll create
revenue
a special
fund
revenue account for that
for
purpose.
that?
Yes,
Okay,
ma'am.
okay, thank you.
Any other questions? Hearing none, before we vote on the motion to adjourn, I wanted to remind everyone that we have our board workshop. And Jeff, can you tell me where we're going to be meeting?
Yeah, so it's going to be in conference room B, which is on the academic side, so you just go downstairs, and we'll have people there to assist you in the
Okay, so.
That's where we have our pictures made.
That's where you have your pictures.
Yes.
So we'll have about, if you need to go freshen up, at 1 o'clock we'll meet right downstairs. And at that time, we'll go ahead and vote on the motion to adjourn. All those in favor, raise your right hand. All opposed? The meeting is adjourned. Thank you all for your attention.
I know it, I don't know why she's doing this, but
I'm always
and
fresh.
you see the one thing she doesn't explain to me today. She has to say what the count is. So, well, that's only because Nancy's sitting there counting hits. Now, don't look for me